reignite that spirit of innovation to meet our biggest challenges. 60 years ago, when the Russians beat us into space, we didn't deny Sputnik was up there. We didn't argue about the science or shrink our research and development budget. We built a space program almost overnight, and 12 years later, we were walking on the moon.
President of the United States last night in his State of the Union address basically saying anyone who doesn't buy into his climate change, green energy agenda, basically a stupid moron, akin to someone who doesn't believe that Sputnik was launched into space. Well, joining us right now, Congressman Andy Harris, Republican of Maryland, also a medical doctor, a physician, joins us. And I know you went through medical school. I know you got your medical degree and everything and practice medicine. But what do you think, Congressman Harris? If you aren't buying in with him, you're stupid.
Well, look, good morning. That's the way the president works. You either believe in his mantra or there's something wrong with you. And that's why, the president admitted that he has created the most divisive environment in Washington ever, because that's his attitude. His attitude is, if you don't agree with me, there's something wrong with you.
Did you see anything last night as you sat there in the chamber for the president's final State of the Union address? Did you see anything that you could agree with and say, okay, I can work with this guy for the next 12 months?
Well, those are two different questions. There was something I agreed with, that he said he should have done better in not contributing to the hyper-partisan attitude that's in Washington. He ran as a uniter, not a divider. Mm-hmm. And here's a fellow who divides in every single speech he gives. You have to go back and listen to that gun control press conference he gave a week ago. He's the one who used the word Democrats and Republicans, us against them. He's the one who constantly used...
Do you have any kind of comment on the fact that the Iranians held some of our people apparently overnight after one hears they wandered? Do you have any kind of comment on the fact that the Iranians held some of our people apparently overnight after one hears they wandered into international water, into Iranian waters, and they had to apologize, we are told, before they could be released? Any thoughts?
Look, this is par for the course. The fact that the Iranians are the president's new best friends. And this is what's stunning, because here is a country that hates us. The leaders chant or walk behind signs that say death to America. And this president just is whistling past the graveyard. The fact that they tested ballistic missiles, the president's administration, someone there had the sanity to say, I guess we have to put some sanctions on in the morning. And then by the afternoon, they had reversed that decision. This is stunning foreign policy. Ted Cruz had it best. He said, this is not the State of the Union. It was a state of denial speech. It was. The president painted a picture as though ISIS were once again the junior varsity, that there's nothing to worry about. They're a bunch of guys in pickup trucks. No, they aren't. They're a bunch of guys who behead people, who actually cause terrorist acts throughout the world. And in fact, if they had a nuclear weapon, does anyone in the world doubt that they would be using a nuclear weapon?
All right. And as a former Navy guy, any thoughts about the fact that these guys are now free?
Well, they shouldn't have been captured in the first place. If the Iranians were our friends, as the president says, with John Kerry, with this new wonderful relationship with the Iranians, why didn't they just fuel up their boat and get them back on their way?
On your way, that's right. Okay, well, thank you very much. Good to have you.
Always good to have you, Congressman Andy Harris, Republican of Maryland. Got to leave it there. It's 7:51 on WMAL.